Good morning. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today and update you on the activities of the National Bison Association. This is kind of a new format for us. This is some remarks and update that I gave at the recent winter conference in Denver, and I wanted to have the opportunity to let all of our membership know some of the activities that we've been involved with. My name is Mike Duncan. I'm the current president of the association. The members of any organization are truly its heart and soul, and all of our dedication, our commitment to this great animal, its preservation, its heritage, and its place in the market are what is going to continue to lead us to great heights in this industry. It's really been my privilege to be involved with this organization. Our family has been raising bison and involved here since 1986, and this past year as president has been by far my greatest experience. We've seen some rough times, of course, in the last few years, but I see many reasons for great optimism in the days ahead. Through all the past turmoil, the depressed prices, high inputs, why do we continue to associate ourselves with bison? It's because we love them. We cherish their independent nature, we believe in the healthy benefits of the meat, and we know that our efforts to bring this meat and its story to the marketplace are very important and relative. My objectives, as I laid out at the beginning of 2006, were threefold. First, to increase awareness and involvement with our association by other like-minded organizations. I asked myself, how can we further the outreach and effectiveness of our marketing efforts by piggybacking on those of others? Also, how can we be more effective and be more inclusive while not losing sight of our mission as a producer organization? Secondly, I wanted to enhance attention and product sales opportunities for the smaller producer. Now, when I speak about a smaller producer, I think of a herd of 10 to 100 head. Maybe your operation would sell off the farm or through farmers markets. And every program, every meeting that I've been involved with this year has been with that smaller producer in mind. Also, as a point to the smaller producer, some of you that might have been in attendance last year at the winter conference, I asked that question, who considers them a small producer? And Ted Turner happened to be in the audience and raised his hand and said, I'm a small producer. Now, it got a laugh, but for those of us in the bison industry, of course, Turner Ranches is a very large operation. But relative to total American red meat production, he is a very small producer indeed, just like all of us. And it's an important point. We need to work together. We need to stick together. Western producers, Eastern producers, U.S., Canadian, we all need each other to help promote and market this meat. And the third goal is to restore financial stability to the association and enhance revenue streams. Like all of us, the association has struggled financially. We've depleted our savings. So we've looked for new ways that we can enhance revenues and keep our dues level at a reasonable level. The activities that we've engaged in 2006 are many. We began the year in March. I traveled out along with Dave Carter, our executive director, to the Expo West, which is the largest natural trade show in the country, many natural products, and in an effort to get to know better the Organic Trade Association and see if they possibly were a model to mimic ourselves after their association. But what I found was a little different than us. They have a broad reach. The organic is involved in meat, in grains, in fruits, in fibers, many different areas that is not nearly as focused as ourselves in the meat industry. They also have a very large manufacturing base. Lots of large companies, food companies that have either expanded into the organic end or even are exclusively organic. And we really don't have those type of large manufacturers in our industry at this point. While we were walking around their tent, I turned and saw a small table that had a brochure for an organization called Slow Food. Some of you may have heard of Slow Food. It was my first exposure to them. Slow Food was an organization that was founded in 1986 by a man by the name of Carlo Petrini in Italy. And he founded the organization in response to a McDonald's that was opening up, potentially was going to open up in the piazza in the local town. And he saw it as an affront to their local food traditions, to their history, to their heritage of food in their community. And so rather than fast food, he opted for slow food as a way to engage people in the celebration of food, the importance of food to community and to everyday living. It's a grassroots organization. It's community-based. Its attention is to sustainable, good foods with a heritage and history to the land and the local economy. And that to me was a great fit for us. And as I'll discuss, we've made some great contacts and inroads with the Slow Food Organization. We also met with members of our friends from the Canadian Bison Association who had a booth out there. And amazingly and serendipitously, we arrived at their booth and there was a large banner that said, "Slow down, savor life, live well." So they clearly were on the same message that we were thinking at that time. In April, Dave and I traveled to Northern California and met with Michael Dimmock, who was the outgoing chair of Slow Food USA, the U.S. branch of the Slow Food National Worldwide Organization. And I should mention, Slow Food also has 80,000 members worldwide, and 12,000 of them just here in the U.S. We discussed each other's publications, the potential to exchange magazine articles, to potentially feature bison as a menu item. They're organized around groups that they call conviviums. These are local people in local communities that reach out to local foods that are grown and raised in their area. And they get together roughly monthly to have food and fellowship, and we discussed the possibility of bison being a featured item on an annual basis during a monthly convivium meeting. In May, Dave and I traveled up to Lusk, Wyoming to meet with members of the Dakota Territories Bison Association, who are our host organization in putting together the International Bison Conference this summer. I see this as a tremendous opportunity for our organization, our industry, to highlight ourselves, what's going on, the great resurgence of bison in the place that meat has in the marketplace to a wide-ranging group of constituents. So we wanted to let the group know that the NBA is there to support, help with the agenda, and help with the production of the entire event, and really use the IBC as a springboard to get our message out there. We also had a board retreat at our ranch in northern Colorado, and to review our strategic plan, talk about some of these initiatives. And Dave also attended a conference in New Mexico that was put on. It was a meeting actually to talk about a group, or work with a group called the Wildlife Conservation Society, who's headquartered at the Bronx Zoo in New York. And we had heard some things about this, that their idea was to reestablish free-roaming herds of bison, which raised a couple of eyebrows, but we thought, well, let's see what they're about and find out if we can interact with this group. And I'll discuss more how the outcome of that conference came about. We also met then with a PR group in Boulder, Colorado called the Fresh Ideas Group. Knowing that we wanted to reach out to others, expand our message, we realized that we would need further help. And Fresh Ideas Group is a PR firm with a large focus in food, and they've been a tremendous help in getting us meetings set up, getting us contacts in the wider world. And again, I'll discuss some of the outcome of their work. In July, we held our third legislative roundup in Washington. And this is an initiative that was started by my predecessor, Steve Wilson. This was the third time that a group of us have traveled to Washington to meet with members of the USDA staff, as well as legislators in Washington that are involved in many of our parts of the world, or our parts of the country that are involved with bison. The highlight for me was our meeting that we had with Secretary of Agriculture Mike Johans. This was the second year in a row that we met with him, and it impressed upon me how important our group is when I was able to shake his hand and say, "Hello, Mr. Secretary, it's nice to see you again." And he responded, "It's nice to see you as well. Thanks for coming. Let's sit down and have our meeting." But the point is, he remembered us. He remembered our group and why we were there. And so we've begun to make a place on the map in Washington, and that's important in agriculture.